Fantastic of South Africa's Banyana just speaking on what this 2026 Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations means to the team. Sanbonani dumelang molweni riperile Africa Dzonga vetorame evosiwe wakwanqobo, and a welcome to the Group B opener out at the CAF Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It is South Africa's Banyana that will take on the Twiga Stars of Tanzania. They meet for the third time out at the Continental Showpiece, and to help unpack what the expectations are here tonight as South Africa once again looks to open the tournament with a winner, we are joined by the maestro in Kinelwe Matiwela. Alongside her is the man that goes by Kraus. You can also call him Ace. It's Coach Thabo Sinong. Coach, a very good evening to you. I'm going to start with you. We know what Banyana is capable of doing in the continental stage. They appear at this showpiece for the 14th time, but there's so much more at stake now, not just the trophy, but they want to qualify for their third World Cup as well.
A very good evening to you, V and Kinelwe, and to our viewers. It's two things that you want to achieve in this tournament. First, World Cup qualification. Can we get into the semi-finals as Banyana? One primary objective. Second objective, they are 2022 champions. Is there a chance? Can they win the tournament to bring the gold medal back home? So two objectives, and then I just think it's one at a time. With the experience that they have, the quality of the players, and Coach Des, I think it's possible. Is it going to be easy? That's the question.
Indeed, and you look at the technical team, they're arriving. They were, of course, led by the Vice President of the South African Football Association, Anastasia Chiklis. Let's speak, Maestro, because you've been in this position before with the South African Banyana team as captain. Fantastic. It's a lot of pressure on this national team here to go all the way, not just to the semis, but all the way to the final and possibly lift their second WAFCON.
I think it is a very tough one, V. Good evening, Coach. Good evening, V. It's a very tough one, V, looking at their history of obviously South Africa, where we started and how far we've come. And the fact that now we have once lifted the trophy also puts the pressure, because it has proven to everybody that we have the potential, the capability to be able, and also with the support, like you mentioned, Natasha, she was also part of our squad, our technical support staff back in 2004. And I think it only shows now how much investment now that it has been put in. So it's not only about the players at the moment, but also just the legacy as well going forward, because if you also look at the squad, you look at the players that have featured in the previous editions. There's 16 of them already also coming into this edition, but now already we need to look at a plan going forward. So it's just building the foundation and also just seeing how we can open more doors and opportunities for our players to be able to, get the opportunity to come into this tournament, but also go overseas, just like Otembi Khatlani, Linda, and so on.
But of course, first is the hurdle of coming up against Tanzania's Twiga Stars. They are appearing at their third Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Coach, let's speak to, when you look at this Tanzanian nation, ranked number 18 in the African continent, but all they've ever done really at WAFCON is get a single point. That's the best they've done, coming in the last edition in that draw against South Africa. So tons of pressure on the Twiga Stars for the first time to try get out of the group.
Yeah, not the most experienced side as far as WAFCON is concerned. You can see that Tanzania is still a growing footballing nation as far as women football is concerned. You look at just the stats and also their ranking. Number 122 for FIFA and just kept 18, like you said, Vusiwe. So, but sometimes football, you don't look at the numbers, Kideilwe. Also, what is key is just the level of motivation. We look at the previous results in the previous WAFCON. We drew with Tanzania. So I always say it's always expectations versus desire. Expectations, Banyana, we have the quality. But desire, we need to have desires, Banyana, because if Tanzania will have the desire, then that might be a little bit challenging. They are underdogs, but their tactics, they are very reinforced, defend with 5 at the back. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Interesting.
Also, just looking at this previous encounter against us, we've also noted that Tanzania is well known for scoring in the first half, which is why we were trailing behind
all their goals, in fact.
All their goals has been scored in the first half, but obviously now it also has revealed that they do not hold on to that too long, because they'll end up losing the matches. But I think also just interesting is how they qualified into this tournament, beating the one of the previous champions in Equatorial Guinea. Guinea. So that also shows the potential and the development and the increase. And we also, when we look at school football a bit, Tanzania has come to be the host in so many occasions, but also just looking at their development structurally and also the women in the different developments. So possibly I think we also need to look into how they could possibly be a great challenge for Banyana, because also just looking at the results in the previous matches that we're playing, the goal scorers come from different, angles. You have your defenders scoring goals, you have your captains who's also in the midfield, and then some of the strikers. So I think holistically they are also a team not to be taken for granted or taken very lightly, because they could actually cause an upset for Banyana.
And causing an upset is certainly what they'll be looking to do out in Group B, where they find themselves alongside South Africa. We've also got Cote d'Ivoire in there, as well as Burkina Faso. So these are the teams that South Africa is going to need to come up against to try and make it out of the group stage. Give me your general thoughts, Coach, when you look at the group: Equatorial Guinea, Burkina Faso, you look at Cote d'Ivoire as well.
Yeah, Group B just has a lot of athletic teams. If you look at Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Tanzania, hard-running teams, players have an edge in this group. But the other teams like Tanzania, they rely more on tactical organization, just to make sure that they try to protect their weaknesses and improve their strengths. This is a group where I expect Banyana to go through, and also with the growth of Ivory Coast to also go through in this group.
Yeah, I think also, Coach, what you spoke about desire versus, you said desire versus expectations. Again, looking at what stands in the way of everyone wanting to qualify for the World Cup. So this is definitely going to be a situation where all teams in all the different groups are going to fight as hard as they possibly can, because this is a door that's been open, where now the tournament has been grown now with 4 extra teams, and also just the slots into the World Cup. So I think it's going to be a tough one all around. On paper, yes, we could say that Banyana, Ivory Coast, but I think holistically we just need to look at who wants it more again.
All right, so that's what it will come down to eventually when we look at the various groups out at the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Who wants it more? You look at South Africa, they sit number 2 in the African continent. They come up against an 18-ranked